right, so Tom, first off, why are you running for another term as state representative?
As far as running for another term, the fact that the first term we kind of got things going in the right direction, and before things weren't necessarily bad in the state of Missouri, but there were some things that I wanted to achieve, and we got the first steps of that basically taken care of. And so in that continuing process, I want to make sure that the ball keeps rolling, so to speak, and we can do some of the other things that we'd initially talked about as far as what we'd like to accomplish while we're there.
During this past session, tax policy was kind of at the forefront, particularly with Senate Bill 509. What do you think the state's policy should be in regards to the tax code and tax credits, that sort of thing?
Well, as far as the tax code, the fact that we got the tax cut this year and the first tax cut in almost 100 years, I don't really see another tax cut taking place immediately. And in fact, that one doesn't start to take effect for 2 years. So to do anything more with the tax code at this time, I don't see that happening. So what we need to probably work at, and I know the governor as well has voiced concern about the credits, and that is whenever you have the credits, you have to allow for those credits in the budget. So it restricts where you can use the money, what you can do with it because of those, that it kind of it's tied up in the budget. So if we can look at some of those credits, ease that up to where we can redivert that money, not give it to special interests or not pinpoint it, but basically try to help the state as a whole, I think that will just continue to keep the state going as far as a business and friendly environment, a place where people want to come and visit, not only visit, but want to stay and set up house, raise a family, and all the good things that come with being a Missourian.
What do you think the state's overall policy should be on K through 12 education?
K through 12, I think we're kind of headed in the right direction. I know we did a lot of things this year as far as student transfers and things like that. But from my standpoint, I've got a big district, so numerous schools, the high schools. Whenever I talk to those school boards, the way I look at it, it should be handled mostly on a local level. Now, the state does become involved because of the money aspect, but each school kind of knows their area in the district. And not everybody can be taught the same throughout the state. So when you look at different areas around the state, you teach those students differently. Those people that have their feet on the ground, so to speak, in each one of those areas know what's best for those kids. And I want to help them achieve those goals, but I don't want to put them all in one box and say you have to teach every child the same, because it doesn't always work. So our policy should be allowing the schools to do what they want. Whenever they run up against resistance or if they run into a wall, then we should be there to help them out. And so working together would be the best policy. And get the parents involved, get other students involved, helping each other, working together. I have to say I've got a great district as far as schools. And so they're very well, the parents are involved, the students are involved. The schools offer a lot of activities. It's great to be there, so I don't want to tell them to do something different than what they're doing because it's working. I want them to be able to help them keep doing what they're doing.
If you're reelected, what would be your top 3 priorities?
I get asked that question ever so often. I would narrow it down to one priority, and that priority is the state of Missouri. And so from there, the top 3 priorities, and forgive me, but I can't really narrow it down to 3. And the fact that, and you've been around the Capitol too, any one particular day you might deal with maybe 10, 12, maybe 20 different issues. So as each issue comes to the forefront, that basically becomes the major issue. So when we were talking about the tax cut, the tax bill was the priority. When we were talking about student transfers and problems we have in some of the school districts around the state, that was the priority. So to me, the priority shouldn't be focused on one thing. It should be kind of looking at it with an open mind, and as those problems arise, be able to confront them.
You're one of 2 Republicans running in this primary, the other being Bruce Sassman. Why should voters select you?
Well, Bruce is a constituent of mine, and so as a representative, I don't go for the negative campaigning, and so I've met with him, nice guy. We agree on a lot of things. As far as the differences in us, there again, I have a voting record. People can see what I stand for. They can see what I vote for. They can see what I've sponsored, co-sponsored. And so my record is out there. I've been there 2 years, and so I've got the experience of being in there. I don't know everything, but I've met a lot of really nice, super smart people that have helped me in that process. And so whenever an issue does arise or there's a problem, I know who I need to go to get the information we need to make the decisions in the Capitol. So from that aspect, I guess the fact that, I don't like long-term politicians, and so I look at myself as an elected official just trying to do what I can while I'm there.